Hi, I'm Anila.
And I'm Camille.
And we're here at the C4EO conference reporting on behalf of Headliners.
The Centre for Excellence in Outcomes help those working in children and young people services by providing them with research and examples of good local practice.
Welcome to sunny Birmingham.
Throughout June 2010, C4EO held conferences in Birmingham, Bath, Manchester and London. These conferences were attended by over 400 delegates and were a chance for those working with children and young people to exchange ideas about what works in their sector. Our team of Headliners reporters went along to interview both delegates and speakers about the current challenges facing those working with children and young people and to explore the potential solutions that can help make a real difference. The one big, unavoidable issue that seems to be on everybody's mind is money.
Frankly, finances are very pushed.
Financial constraints.
Economic issues.
Financial pressures.
There's a lot of uncertainty.
I think we're all looking for answers at the moment because we're all a little bit worried about what the future will bring.
So it's clear that finances are going to be tight, and that means it's more important than ever that services for children and young people deliver the best possible outcomes. So how can we make sure this happens? From speaking to those working in the sector, it seems that early intervention has an important role to play.
One of the most important themes of the conference today has been the importance of early intervention. In other words, not waiting until things have already gone wrong for children and families before intervening.
So if we can all intervene at the earliest possible stage, get the resources in there to prevent the escalation of their problems, then not only is it better for the children and young people themselves, but for society.
Well, I suppose one of the main movers in our work at the moment is about providing services at an early point so that children and young people don't become looked after at a later date. Basically, it does two things. It provides support for families at an early point, as I say, to stop them coming into the care of the local authority. It also saves money.
Another way to improve outcomes at a low cost is for people to share their best practice and to learn from others working in the sector.
And when I go around local authorities, which I do all the time, I'll see some really good projects, some really good stuff going on that's preventing children going to care or preventing kids going to the youth justice system or whatever. And then down the road, the neighbouring authority, they never heard of it, and yet they've got real problems that could be addressed by sharing that expertise.
I wanted to talk to the disability organisation so that I could get some idea about how to set up a subgroup of the youth council that we have in Bexley, specifically for young people with disabilities and special educational needs. Hopefully, with contacts that I've made, those people, when I call them up after this day, will be able to guide me in the right direction as to what I need to be doing in terms of good practice in other areas.
At a time when money's tight, people often go back to the ranch and say, I don't want to work in partnership anymore, I've got other things to do. But really there's been a big strong emphasis on how partnership is really important in being effective in supporting children and young people.
There was also a clear belief that the sector can learn by listening to those most directly affected by their services, the children and young people themselves.
I think my main message to young people is that we need to keep hearing your voice loudly and clearly.
I'd like to see many more children and young people connected with the Department for Education. I'd like school curriculum to allow children and young people to come into the department to take part in policy discussions.
I did a workshop today with C4O. It was called Care to Work, and I shared my view about how I'm still in care and I never got any help. And then there was another guy, Tony. He also said what he feels about the care system and how he can't find his work.
Really today what I'm doing is I'm representing young people and I'm going to be giving a little bit of a presentation about my sort of experience within the care system, within leaving the care system, and then after that. Just for an example, I mean, I've lived in I've moved house 39 different times. I've had anywhere between 7 and 10 different social workers. But stability with my education really helped me today. I stayed in the same school, whether I was living 2 miles from it or whether I was living 20 miles from it. Those sort of stability really led to me being comfortable in the future.
I'm Tiotto and I'm one of the young people that's speaking at the C4EO conferences.
Okay, and why were you asked to speak?
to bring a young disabled person's perspective to the conference and to make it a little bit more real and a little bit more human.
Remember, disabled young people are all of those titles. They are people, they are disabled, but they are also very importantly young. And actually, a lot of the time, the system forgets the young bit.
The one thing that they can do, which doesn't cost any money, which seems to be one of their major issues, is actually listen. Because if they listen, often disabled young people and their families have the solutions, and they often cost less than what they would traditionally think of doing.
So although people are worried about money, the professionals we spoke to are not letting this affect their commitment. And through early intervention, sharing best practice and listening to young people, the sector will hopefully continue to improve outcomes.
Polly Toynbee's speech about child poverty was the one that really caught my eye, because it's something I'm interested in because of my background and where I grew up, and I also think it's just an important subject which is relevant, especially in current times.
It was good to see that there's it's not just a select few social workers, it's sort of like a mass gathering in different areas, and that they all come together and they're able to network.
Talking to Christine, she said that hopefully the feedback that's come back hopefully can change stuff. So fingers crossed, things will look better for younger children.
I've learned how wide the sector is, and from how it ranges and the amount of people that can be involved in helping young people and children.